My name is Jessica Anderson, and I'm the Executive Director of Heritage Action. And it's great to be with you all today. Thank you so much for letting Rob and I into your homes to share such important updates about the state of our country and the profound impact your Heritage and Heritage Action teams are having in the fight over the future of our country. As you know, Heritage Action is the grassroots organization created to mobilize Americans around the country in support of the conservative policy positions of the Heritage Foundation. We work to lead both the grassroots and influence policymakers here in Washington. Today, as you all know, grassroots leadership is needed more than ever. We have challenges as a nation that we have not faced before. And specifically, we must do all that we can as a movement to beat the left in their overreach into American society, education, and public policy. These challenges are on the minds of voters this year, and Heritage Action has been on the ground since April 1st, answering those questions through the work we call Project 2020. Let me give you some of the latest metrics. Since April 1st, we have reached over 2.5 million swing voter households. That's right, 2.5 million swing voter households. We have a team of 200 well-trained grassroots leaders who are spread out across this country in strategic states. Of the 2.5 million voters we have reached so far, we've added 3,000 new sentinels to our ranks and over 100,000 new grassroots activists for our rapid response team. Clearly, our message is striking a chord with those Americans who want safety and security in our neighborhoods, oppose big government, and continue to fight for conservative principles. But friends, our work is not yet done. We have 49 days until November 3rd, and we are laser focused on two things: exciting the base of grassroots supporters and mobilizing these 2.5 million new converts from Project 2020. We can't do this alone. And the partnership between Heritage and Heritage Action, it's really never been better, has it, Rob?
That's right, Jessica. Thank you for sharing those impressive goals with us. We are committed to fighting for America. And as you all know, it's a critical moment in our nation's history as we find our country under attack from radical leftists. Our cities and monuments are being destroyed, our history is being distorted, and our right to speak the truth is being challenged. Conservatives are worried, and we're frustrated, and we all want something to do about it, which is why the Heritage Enterprise is working together to combat the left in every corner of the debate with four specific goals in mind. Number one, advocate for American values and institutions in the face of radical extremism.
Number two, bolster community support for law enforcement officers.
Number three, call for accountability in education and for education dollars to be returned to taxpayers during the pandemic.
And number four, emphasize that the way to fight for America is to vote for America.
Jessica and I are going to briefly touch on each of these four pillars and the specific impact that we're having. First, we believe that advocating for American values starts with each one of us. That's why, as Mrs. James just announced, we are launching the new Heritage Initiative called Citizens Guide to Fight for America. Starting today, we are inviting millions of patriotic Americans to join us. And each week from now until Election Day, they will receive specific Heritage recommended action items, enabling them to grow your own understanding of the biggest issues facing our nation and to fight for American values. We've constructed a website at heritage.org/2020 with the steps that you can take to get started. And we've built some tools on that website to help you. First, talking points on key issues so that you can be informed when talking to your friends, family, or sharing posts on social media. Two, advice from our talented communication staff on crafting a strong and winning message. And three, tips for writing a successful letter to the editor or an op-ed for your local newspaper. Here's a short video with some more information.
America is at a crossroads. Each day, we see the penalties of progressive policies across our nation, while night after night, our city streets are set ablaze by riots and rage. That's why the Heritage Foundation has developed a plan to help take our country back. The Citizen's Guide to Fight for America provides a series of heritage-recommended action items delivered to you each week. Make an impact in your community and in our country. Sign up for the Citizen's Guide at heritage.org/2020 and join in the fight for America today.
Wow, the work of the Citizens Guide is going to be so important, and it reflects how we can support our American values and institutions on a daily basis. But, friends, the second pillar in the fight for America is what I want to talk about next. This is how we can support law enforcement. As we have all seen, police officers are under attack everywhere. For the hundreds of millions of Americans, much like Rob and I, who rely on the police to keep our neighborhoods safe, it really has been surreal to see politicians and pundits on the left declare that the real instigators of the violence are the police and not the gangs or rioters. The American people want safety, security, and a clear vision on how to quell the violence and restore the peace. That's why 3 weeks ago, we launched the Police Pledge. We were with Vice President Mike Pence in Des Moines, Iowa, to ask the American people to pledge their support for law enforcement. As the left continues to abandon the police, the teams of Heritage and Heritage Action have run to the sound of the gun. Here's a quick video about the pledge if you missed our event.
One individual hurled a gasoline bomb into the city-county building, which holds the city's 9/11 dispatch center in the jail.
We have all seen the lawlessness and the anarchy that is played out in our country's cities, in our neighborhoods. Today, we launch Fight for America, going on offense to advocate for American values and institutions in the face of radical extremism, continuing our support to champion the law enforcement.
I work with exceptional deputies, police officers, troopers. We have people that truly want to get out there and do good. I'm very happy that the Heritage Foundation and Heritage Action are willing to stand up, are willing to speak for the silent majority.
Security is the foundation of our prosperity. You have a president, you have an administration that are committed to law and order and to supporting men and women who serve on the thin blue line.
With the Police Pledge, we are able to use our unique role at Heritage Action to encourage our leaders at all levels of government to stand up for the safety and security of the American people. Yesterday, we did something big. We unveiled billboards the size of city blocks in Times Square, Dallas, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia, with a very clear and simple message: no police, no peace. Why did we do this? Well, we want to send a clear message to elected officials and the American people that the silent majority supports law enforcement. And without their work in our neighborhoods, this country cannot have true peace. So with the Police Pledge and the Billboard campaign, we are working hard to support our men and women in blue. But Rob, there's still more work to be done, and that work is at our schools. Right, Rob?
As a parent of 2 elementary school kids who have been stuck in virtual learning since March, I can certainly sympathize with anyone who is displeased with the current circumstances and looking for changes. But the struggle is not just virtual schooling. Fight for America is pushing back against the left's attempt to indoctrinate our children with efforts like the 1619 Project.
If you don't already know about the 1619 Project, you should be prepared for it to come to a school near you. It's a left-wing idea that would fundamentally transform our understanding of America's founding. Rather than celebrating 1776, The New York Times and its left-wing allies have prepared propaganda for schools to promote a radically different version of American history. Shortly after the 1619 Project made its debut last year, Heritage responded by pointing out the inaccuracies. We have put resources directly in the hands of parents to hold their school boards accountable and demand that the 1619 Project not be taught in our nation's classrooms. So, with that, the fourth pillar of Fight for America is probably the most important. It simply states, to fight for America is to vote for America. Rob, I think you've got some exciting news for our members to hear about.
We sure do, Jessica. We have developed 3 television ads to air this fall on national cable TV outlets as well as digital platforms. Our goal is to reach millions of people, 100 million or more in all. And we've decided to go big with these ads because we know how much is at stake. We want to paint a clear contrast between the left's vision for America and the conservative values of freedom and opportunity that we know will lead to a better future. The ads will begin airing the week of October 5th, and they will continue through Election Day. Now, over the course of those 4 weeks, we'll air the spots nearly 100 times on cable TV and thousands more on websites and streaming platforms. We want to make sure that we're mobilizing both our conservative supporters who watch Fox News, as well as persuade independents who watch the History Channel, Discovery, and HGTV. Now, let's take a look at the ads.
Let's take a field trip. First stop, Venezuela, a socialist paradise. Next, Cuba, North Korea. The list is long. The results are always the same. And now the virus is spreading. It's not just failed government, but failed ideas. There's a better way to make progress and improve the well-being of every American. We call it freedom. It's time we fight for America and vote for America. Let's take a quick history lesson. Just 2 centuries ago, 94% of the people in the world lived in extreme poverty. Today, it's 8.5%. In a century, our life expectancies more than doubled. How did we come so far so fast? The freedom to create, to start a business, to keep what you earn. Don't let the socialists and radical left cost us our progress, our freedom, and our well-being. It's time we fight for America and vote for America. If you want to see one version of our future, visit Portland, a living laboratory of all the bad ideas progressives have ever had, including perhaps the scariest of all, defunding our police. Who are you going to call when you need protection? A social worker? A community activist? The left is full of ideas that never work. Don't let them bring Portland to you. It's time we fight for America and vote for America.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching those ads, and we'll see them on a network soon. I'd like to close our session today by reminding all of you that Heritage and Heritage Action will not cease in the work that we do or stray from the principles that guide us. It is because of supporters like you and your generous contributions that we can fight for America.
This is the time for leadership, and there's no better place prepared for this fight than the Heritage Enterprise. Thank you.